Test. Hello. Okay, looks like my microphone's working now. I was just talking into nothingness. I'm just going to quickly wait a second to see if this live stream is actually working. I'll put the sound on. Test. Oh, there we go. It looks like it is. Okay, so I've been working like a crazy person trying to get Strapi set up with VueAuth, which means that we will get full authentication with Quasar out of the box with virtually no effort. It's really amazing what this app extension and what the app extension ecosystem with Quasar has allowed me to do here. Anyway, I'll show you within this video. So first of all, we're going to be creating an account with Strapi. Sorry, I've been working all day, so I'm a little bit out of it at the moment. So let's go ahead and set all this up. There we go. So this is just a blank Strapi project. I am using Docker here because behind the scenes, I want to be able to handle emails as well. So I've got this really cool thing called Mail Dev, which just allows me to catch emails, which is really great for when you're debugging things like reset password and all that jazz. All right, so that's up and running. Now we're going to create a new project. Let me just jump out of there. I'll just create a new terminal here. So to do that, we now say yarn create Quasar to create a new Quasar project. And by the way, I should tell you what I'm doing in this video. I'm setting up authentication using VueAuth with Quasar. So that we get a really nice full UI built out for us that we can then configure to our heart's extent. All right, we're going to answer all these questions. Yes, we'll use the CLI. Let's call this Quasar, Strapi, Auth, Fun, because I've used so many different names for test projects. I want to make sure that nothing clashes, and I'll copy that because we'll use it again in a second. We're using Quasar version 2 with Vue 3. JavaScript, I am actually going to use the Vite CLI because it is now working with the Vite CLI, and I found it to be quite stable. So we'll go ahead and we'll select that. Package name, I'm going to use Quasar, Strapi, Auth, Fun, same as the folder name. And I'm going to leave most of this as the default. This stuff isn't important. ESLint, and I always go standard. I don't like using Prettier. And yes, we'll use Yarn to go ahead and install those dependencies. All right, so that's the first thing. When that's done, we're going to go ahead and install the extension. So that we're going to do that with Quasar Extension add at VueAuth/auth, just in case you're watching this in the future and you want to get ahead of me. And then basically it's going to ask us, hey, what do you want to use for your backend? So at the moment we've got Laravel Sanctum, we've got Supabase, Firebase, and now I've just added Strapi, which is what I'm going to be showing you in this video. All right, so that's done. So let's go ahead and copy that, paste it down there, open this in Visual Studio Code. There we go, that's opened up. Might zoom in just once. Open up my side panel here. And what do I do now? Quasar Extension add VueAuth/auth. So this is the Quasar Authentication app extension. So we'll give that a second to run. And then when it has run, it's going to ask us, here we go, select an auth provider. We're going to select Strapi, of course. And you'll notice that now we go into our source directory here and then auth, we get all of these auth files. They're basically pre-configured components and pages that we can now start configuring. And we also get this config directory with Strapi. So now we can come in here and just change any of the details around our Strapi backend. All right, so even stuff like how you fetch the your bearer token, you can go ahead and actually re-implement that if you don't like the way it's implemented using local storage, because I know people like to have a lot of debates around that kind of thing. All right, so this is all the endpoints that are set for us by default should work with a default sort of Strapi setup. So now, what do I have to do? I don't want to forget to go to source, app.view and make sure that our routes are authenticated. And this just means if we try to go to the login page and we're not currently logged in, and we are currently logged in, it'll redirect us to the dashboard. If we go to the dashboard and we're not logged in, it sends us back to the login page. All those kind of like redirects can be handled for us. So I'll change this to script setup, and we're going to import from at VueAuth/Quasar UI auth. and it is called Authenticate Routes. So all we're going to do is just call that there. Save it, and now we should be able to run our dev server. So let's say Quasar dev, and that's already up and running because it's Vite and it's amazingly fast. So now let's go into more of a sort of development mode here. Oh, what's happened? Uh-oh, it looks like my looks like things are spazzing out. Oh no, that's fixed it. All right. There we go. So what's next on the list? Next, we probably want to do some proxying. So we want to make sure that when we're hitting these API routes, so these API endpoints here, that they go to the correct route. So in order to do that, I'm going to jump into quasar.config.js, and I'm going to search for dev server to jump to the dev server section. Here it is here. I don't like having open set to true, so I'm just going to get rid of all of that and say proxy. And we're going to say, hey, whenever you get an endpoint that's called API, I want you to send me to localhost 1337. So this is our Strapi server. That's why it's localhost 1337, which is probably what it is for you as well, unless you've done something fancy there. And then we also want to say, hey, change the origin as well. Just going to make sure that everything works correctly. So that means when we go to somewhere / API inside of our app, this is going to catch that request and send it to our Strapi server instead. It just makes it really easy dealing with APIs. Okay, so now if I go to /login, this might be everything I need to go ahead and get started. So let's go to the register page actually, and we'll say here, I don't know, Luke example at example.com. I'm going to copy that email and make it the password. It's just an easy way to test things out, and click on register. Oh, I got a weird pop-up there, so I'll have to fix something about that. But yeah, it looks like that's working. So now it's registered. We basically did no configuration there. And if I try now to go to the login page, notice that it does send me back to the dashboard. So that's really cool. That's working. Hello, RBN. Nice to meet you. Now let's go to log out here and just try logging in again to make sure that all works. And it looks like that is working. So let's log out. And what else do I want to show you? So the next thing is setting up password resets. By default, password resets are not going to work with Strapi. You have to come into the home page here, go into settings, and then roles. Make sure you don't go to administration panel roles. You want to go to users and permissions plugin roles. Make sure you go into the correct roles there. And we want to jump into public. So we want to make some public routes available. And we go to user permissions. And the ones we want available are forgot password and reset password. Notice that we've got some double ups here. That's because of just some things have gone wrong with my setup. I'm pretty sure like something's gone wrong in the database. So I've got like a double up of forgot password and reset, but that should be fine on your end. So let's go ahead and save that. And now if I go into forgot password, paste that email in and click on email reset instructions. There we go. It tells us that it's emailed us the reset instructions. And like I said, I set up a special server to catch those requests, which is this one here. So we go to 1080. There we go. So that's been caught here. And now notice that the link that it sends us to is only giving us question mark code. It hasn't actually got the URL before that question mark. So we actually have to set that up properly as well by going into advanced settings. And then we want to jump into reset password page and set that up. So in this case, it's just going to be, looks like it's localhost 900, and I think it's password -reset. Is that what it is? Yeah, so let's copy that. We'll come over here and paste it in there. So that means that that link inside of the email address here is going to be correct. It's going to use the password reset page I set there to make sure that that lines up correctly. So let's go ahead and save that. And now we're going to have to do this again. So let me just delete that. And then we'll come back here and I'll go back to forgot password. and I've forgotten what that email address was now. I think it was like Luke Example at example.com. Hopefully that's correct. And there we go. We got that email. And now this link should work correctly. So let's click on that. Takes us to the reset password page. Let me paste my email in there. What was it again? Here we go. Let's copy it here. So I can paste that email in there and change it to like 1234 QWERT. 1234 QWERT. Let's see if that works. And it does, so that's been changed. Let's check if it actually worked by pasting that email in and going 1234 QWERT, log in, and there we go. So now password reset is working. However, unfortunately, Strapi actually doesn't have support for update password by default. So, in fact, half of the work I did on this plugin is creating my own Strapi plugin that allows you to update the password. So let's go ahead and install that. If we jump into our project here, actually it's within our Strapi project. I think I might have already installed it. Let's go to plugins. Yeah, update password. So I'll quickly show you how I did that. In order to install that plugin, all you have to do is say, split that the other way. All you have to do is say yarn add, and it's called Strapi plugin update password. All right, so inside of your Strapi project, this isn't in your Quasar project, in your Strapi project, go ahead and install that. And then once it's installed and you've restarted your Strapi server and done all that jazz, then you should be able to go to settings. And then if you go to roles, authenticated, not public, authenticated, then you should be able to jump into this update password section and say update. So basically we're saying if you are authenticated, you are allowed to hit this update password route. So we'll go ahead and save that. And now once again, I've already lined everything up for you inside of the Quasar plugin. So let's go back here. And then we'll log in. Oh, whoops, I got two versions of the app open. Just close out of those. Okay, we're already logged in. So now if I jump in here and say change password, I believe the password at the moment is 1234 QWERT, and let's change it to ASDF. And it works. Just to check, we'll go log out, ASDF. And there we go. So we've got a fully authenticated app using Strapi with Quasar. And that's the entire process you have to go through to get it all working. So a little bit of work on the back end with Strapi, minimal work on the front end with Quasar, and then you've got all of this and you're ready to go to just start building your application. So I hope you find this useful. It took me ages to figure out all the finicky bits with Strapi and to create the Strapi plugin for updating passwords and do all of that crap. So I wanted to get all of that stuff just out of the way. So all you had to do was go ahead and install it and do minimal configuration to get everything working. And by the way, if you don't even need your reset password and update password stuff, and you don't need any of that set up, then what you can actually do is just jump into source, components, auth, and just come in here and just remove the components that you don't need. You might have to remove some routes as well, but you should be able to sort of come in there and just plug and play stuff as you actually need it inside of the auth plugin. So there you go. Really, really simple authentication using Quasar and Strapi. By the way, we're using VueAuth under the hood here. So you don't actually, all of this benefit works in any Vue project. If you want to actually see how it works under the hood, then take a look at the boot file here, auth providers boot. So you'll see here that what am I doing? This is where we pull in the configuration for Strapi that we pass through to the plugin. This is all of the implementations, all of the sort of contracts that are implemented for VueAuth so that it works with Strapi. All of this stuff you can just use inside of a normal Vue application and it's going to work nicely. It doesn't have to be in a Quasar app. I just made it easy for you to do it in a Quasar app so that you get all the components as well for free, and everything is kind of like hooked up nicely for you. So there you go. Hope you enjoyed this video. I enjoyed making it for you. Um, as you can see, I'm a little bit anxious because I've just been coding and coding all weekend to get this out. So I really hope that you all enjoy it. Quick disclaimer though, it is currently in beta. All of VueAuth is in beta. Basically, I'm trying to get a whole bunch of auth providers in before I go out of beta because I want to make sure that I catch all the little bits and pieces that can go wrong. Oh, and one more thing I want to show you is you can actually get rid of this with username option here and set that to true. So notice that by default, if I come back here, let's log out and we go to register. By default, Strapi actually requires you to have a username. So it takes your email and it sets the username to your email. This is a common pattern in Strapi so that you don't have to have the username field showing up. If you want to have a username though, we simply set this equal to true, and I've lined everything up for you, so that should also just work. Now you've got that username option available. So we can say like LD bold. Let's just check if it works. Luke at blah.com. And there we go. So now the username has actually been saved as well. And if you wanted, you could configure this menu here, which is of course very configurable. And you could like show the username in the top right or do whatever. So there we go. Hope you enjoyed this one. That was a lot of fun. And go ahead and check out quasarcast.com/register if you like this kind of thing. Quasarcast.com/register. I've got a whole bunch of other videos around Quasar, and I love sharing my knowledge of this framework. And there is so much more to come. And one more thing you're definitely going to want to check out if you're in the Quasar world is Takeoff. So if you go to github.com/quasarcast/takeoff, right, this repository here, this is something that I'm currently working on that makes it really, really easy to get up and running with Quasar's components. So if you don't even know what Quasar is and you're just here for like the Strapi side of things, trust me, you want to check out this framework. It is remarkable. So check out Quasar Takeoff. Basically, you're just going to clone this repository, and then the videos are actually built in to the repository. So you say like Quasar dev, you get a dev server up and running, and you've got like a little playground where you can just change components and a video that actually shows you how to use that component from scratch. It really is a really cool project. I'm super proud of it, and you need to see it to understand how cool it is. So definitely check out github.com/quasarcast/takeoff. Anyway, I need to go for a walk and chillax. It's Sunday over here in Australia. Thanks everyone for watching, and I'll see you in the next stream. Bye for now.